Good evening and welcome back to CRL for round 2 of the championship. My name is Jamie or Indigo, and alongside me will be Bakke Yogurt. He is running a bit late, unfortunately, but he will be here tonight. And how you all doing? It's nice to be back here in Imola, of course, the second race of the season, and of course we're Max Verstappen defending from Lando Norris in the last few laps of that Grand Prix. See Aston Martin make his way out on the circuit now, as I need to get my thingies just adjusted there so I can hear myself. There we go. Managed to adjust my volume there so I can hear myself think without hearing the cars get the better of me. So I think we're going to go on board with not Jack first. Now, Jack is back after a long streak. I think I remember in Season 8 and Season 9 where he was a reserve driver at the Monaco Grand Prix. He was so close to get the podium, and he actually had better tyres and went for the undercut of people in front of him. But when he came out of the pit lane, he crashed immediately out of the Nova chicane and cost himself a podium that day. So Jack is back after a long streak. He's still around in the F1 game, and we'll see what can the Aston Martin do. Has his pace got better? I remember it being a F1 22 game when we saw Jack back in season about 8 or 9, but he is here tonight. And of course, on his return to racing, it's Jeroen Visser. Jeroen Visser, who has been a championship contender for quite a lot every time he's competed. He's had multiple race wins, as Jeroen Visser, multiple podiums. His last win came at the Japanese Grand Prix. I think it was season 10, I believe it was. I don't think he raced a lot of season 11, but, well, obviously not because there's only been 2 races, but I meant season 9, sorry. So go on board with Jack first because he is the first driver to be on the circuit, and I like to go on board with the first person that makes their way out the pit lane first. That's the way of things I do it. DRS enabled, the one and only DRS zone on the main straight as he powers his way down towards past turn 1, which is this kink here. As we make our way towards turn 2, then this is the real challenge as we head through turn 2, turn 3 and turn 4. Just want to maximise and use every single part of the curb there, try and run out wide as possible as you can as we go towards the Villa chicane. Coming through the Villa chicane now, turn 5 and turn 6, a bit hesitant going in towards turn 6 there as he makes his way towards the end of the first sector. It's going to be a 24.0 for the Aston Martin driver as he climbs out of Tulsa, when we saw Juan Pablo Montoya and Michael Schumacher have their moment back in 2005, I believe it was. As here comes Jack now coming towards the top of Paratella, where Pierre Gasly and Joe Guan Yu made contact in 2022, and I believe the Sauber or the Alfa Romeo driver was forced to retire that day. And here comes Jack coming towards the end of the middle sector, forwards 9.8, and let's see how he tackles these curbs. You want to try and attack these curbs as much as you can. Don't be afraid. Try and attack them, but obviously be very careful as well, because it's so easy to lose the rear end of the car as you lose downforce with a towards curb. Unsettles the plank of the car. Here we are coming towards Rivata 2. Carlos Sainz crashed there back in 2022 when he was chasing pole, as Jack comes towards the line. It's going to be a 14.8, and that's the benchmark everybody has to beat so far. So Jack on his return with a 14.8, and let's see if anybody else behind him can challenge him. Not Legende. Legende's last week's podium sitter goes into P3 as Jeroen Visser blitzes the time then. Of course, Jeroen Visser hasn't lost any pace, and it's nice to see him back. I don't know much of Jeroen, or anybody really, this game, because obviously in the older games I used to be more involved with the esports side of things, more involved with the esports commentary, etc., and the community itself, but I don't really care no more. As Strauss goes up into P3 to 15.1, all I care about is the drivers in my leagues that I race in, not any other leagues. Here comes Delano up into P2, also showed some good pace. So Delano and Jack, the two LOI boys, the League of Ireland, are close together in the Aston Martin, and so far they're doing quite well. Pyro goes up into P2 with a 14.2. The man that was super close. Well, that man that was challenging for the front of the field, but unfortunately made contact with Seeb and sent it into a spin. Then he made contact with Agende, and I think it was somebody else in the RP camp he made contact to. ILT Kenny goes into P5 with a 14.8 as more times come into Kavas. The two former Div 2 drivers are Cole Paradox and Strauss, once again matching pace. Those two are like, well, they're always glued together. Cole Paradox and Strauss. Duel goes up into P7, of course an OG in this league. He's been around since season 1, has been a 2-time champion with multiple race wins and podiums, and still racing around once again. ILTC now goes quickest with a 14.001. This man has only picked up 2 wins so far in his career in CRL. One in Baku when he defended against Walter, the other one on his 3rd appearance in CRL at the Silverstone Grand Prix. And that's the only 2 wins he's had this season. He's picked up multiple podiums, especially last season. And Nelly Safu goes up into P3 with a 14.0, and the times between first and third are super close, as always. It's nice to see. Nelly Safu, who has shown some tremendous pace. I know he was outside the top 10 quite a lot back in his McLaren days, but he's really shown some phenomenal pace recently, and he won the Australian Grand Prix too after getting out of that chaos. Bompia is in the chat. Nice to see you, ILT Bompia. I do miss you alongside me commentating, and I also miss you on the circuit because Bompia, believe it or not, you haven't got any wins yet in CRL this season. That don't include what's it called, Cone Cup. I don't include that, but yeah, you haven't got official wins yet in CRL so far. You've got about 10 podiums here in CRL. I remember Hungarian Grand Prix, you've been at the podium too. Dual comes back in the pit lane, and we're just waiting for the rest of the drivers to set a lap time with about 8 minutes left to go. That's gone. Bompia says, don't worry, I'll come back this season. Thank goodness for that, Bompia, because we do miss you. Very important member of CRL and ILT, of course. You with your insights, your knowledge, your expertise, the way you put CRL and ILT together is just crazy. That's why I think you're an admin in ILT, or is it a well, I don't know what you are these days, but anyways, I know you are in Norway, and I commentate over the Norwegians quite a lot as well. Total P's, let's see what he could do. Very interesting driver to watch out for. The man that won the Bahrain Grand Prix last season, and also Total P's won the Italian Grand Prix in Imola in season 9. Not season 9, sorry, season 7, round 9. And Bompia says, can you stop flirting? But never, Bompia, I always flirt with you. Here comes Peace towards the line, but that's not representative, so he's going to go for his first official flying lap around here in Imola then, as he makes his way down towards turn 2 with an Aston Martin, as we make our way coming towards turn 2. 3 and 4 in 4th gear, carrying the speed, no signs of the car stepping out. You look at that, just carrying the speed in all the corners there as we make our way towards the end of the first sector through turn 4 and turn 5, but it takes too much curve there, got compromised and he's in the wall. Total P's almost wrecked his qualifying and he was almost out, and he's going to block an Aston Martin. I'm not quite sure, no, the Aston Martin is not on a flying lap then, so he's safe about that one. Nathan coming towards the end of the first sector, he got really screwed over by those safety cars, especially in the pit lane, because he broke his wing arriving in the pit lane on that first safety car and had to drop backwards even more, and ever since then his race hasn't gone his way. Nathan becoming a victim at the exit of turn 10, and he invalidates there, unfortunately. The first driver I've seen so far invalidate their lap time, barring Pease, who made that big mistake. Yuvisa coming around at turn 7 now at the exit of Tulsa. Let's see how his progress is doing. Couldn't really see what his first sector was like, but anyways, as he comes towards the end of the middle sector, headed downhill towards Acqua Minerale, the flat out part before we break, and you want to carry the speed through here, but Yuvisa unfortunately taking too much curb and it validates his lap time. So that lap time is done and dusted. Look at that, 3/10 up in that middle sector. Yuvisa has got some serious speed still after spending quite a long time away, but obviously we know he's using a zoo, so he's got other commitments that he needs to look forward to. Half of qualifying has gone. We are still waiting for Bakke Yogurt to see if he will join or not. If not, Bunnies will be the replacement. And Bunnies, last time in the Imola Grand Prix, me and him commentated. I think Nathan JB was the one that won, as Cole Paradox has crashed at the exit of turn 4. I think Mark Wilson, not Mark Wilson, Mark was the one that crashed there. Little Mark crashed there at the exit of turn 4 all those seasons ago, unfortunately. Strauss, he is 700s up in the middle sector as Papa Strauss rounds off the chicane. And let's see, can he improve? Currently outside the top 10 is Strauss. Him and Cole Paradox always racing together in the same division. They're promoted to Division 1 this time. And also Strauss and Paradox, multiple race wins and podiums in their time in CRL. Still here in season 11 is just incredible. The OGs. Strauss comes towards the line, a 40.9 for him, and he goes up into P10. That's a big difference between first and 10th place, a second almost, as the guys behind are really struggling to find and get themselves inside the 14s, where everybody else is wanted to be. Delano in the Aston Martin improves to P5. There's a bunch of cars getting out of the pit lane to complete another lap time. Pyro is out there, but he's not on a flying lap. It's the Ferrari driver, so let's see what he's going to do. If he's going to head back into pit lane or go for a second consecutive flying lap on these set of soft quad power tyres here. But so far, it's ILTC on pole ahead of Jeroen Visser in P2, who's coming out once again. Nelly Safu is blasting down the main straight then as he makes his way down towards turn 2. Matthew Hobbs is in the chat, and I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there, mate. But anyways, hopefully... it's Matthew Hobbs that I think he spun, didn't he, during the Imola Grand Prix on Monday. So, yeah, and things not really went his way. But here we are, swooping through the Villa chicane. Nelly Safu really attacking the track. Look at that. He's already a tenth and a half up in the first sector, is the Nelly Safu. So really pushing up Mercedes as much as he can as we climb towards the top of Piratella. And we'll see downshifted 6th gear, quick dab on the brake, back on the throttle room again. Well, it's okay, Matthew. Oh! I think an RB's just crashed at the exit of turn 7. Nelly Safu rides to the back of the Alpine there, and he's currently a 10th and a bit up in the middle sector. Is the Mercedes driver. Let's see where the Romanian driver could go. His Romanian compatriot, CPI Leo, also had tremendous pace, but unfortunately he's not taking part this season because I know he was a regular contender for wins, especially late on in the season. I think he picked about 1 or 2 wins. He got a pole back in the Japanese Grand Prix, and here comes Safu towards the line. It's going to be a 14.0. He does not take pole away from Sieb. Sieb is out there going to the first sector. Where is Jeroen? If Jeroen Visser has invalidated his lap time, unfortunately. Pyro's out there going down towards, in fact, he's invalidated through Ravazza 1 and in Ravazza 2 as well. AJ, reserve driver, had a race around here on Monday, but unfortunately retired in the pit lane after sustaining full wind damage as he makes his way towards in the first set. 10th up is AJ Wuhan. And we'll see then as he flicks around turn 7, where can he improve to? AJ will have experience around here after doing a race and qualifying. We'll see, can he carry that experience over here as we'll get a second shot at it as we make our way now towards the end of the Aquamina section. 6 minutes left to go in this session. So far, it's Steve Royal Gamer who's on pole with a 40.001. Sweet Crown goes up into P4 with a 40.1. He was the one last time he raced in Imola. He was the one chasing down Cameron Dowds for the victory. Cameron Dowds went for a long stint as Sweet Crown pitted. It's a 30.7 for Sieb as he raised the bar again by 0.3 of a second. Sieb has got some serious pace here tonight. AJ heading around the final corner now. Let's see what lap time this is going to be for the RP driver as he crossed the line of 40.4 and he puts himself into P8 ahead of Duval, the 2-time champion. We've got champions here. I don't think you revisit. I want to make a bold statement without even looking. Jeroen Visser is not a I think he is, you know. I think I get confused between him and somebody else. But I'll be surprised if Jeroen Visser isn't a champion in CRL because he's got some great pace. I know season 9 or season 8, sorry, the championship belonged towards Orlean. In season 9, the championship belonged towards Russell. But it could have been season 7 where Jeroen Visser picked up a championship. But I'll be surprised if he hasn't, you know, because I do remember him. It must have been a long time ago. Yeah, he does. He has got a championship. So Jeroen Visser is a one-time champion here in CRL, beating Walter and Pease and Rudy. Wow, look at all those names. Jeroen, Walter, Pease, they're still here today. Legenda's joined back. He's been a driver for a long time in CRL, in Division 2. Qualifying has been calmed down a bit, but quiet before the storm, as they always say. Strauss coming towards in the first sector as well. Mark has been a good driver as well. Cameron Dowds has been around a few times this season as well. His last win came at the Imola Grand Prix, I think season 9. I don't remember him racing in season 10 that much, Cameron Dowds. I know he was committed somewhere else, but I remember him winning here in Imola after a fantastic victory. He missed on a victory in season 7, I believe, because I think that Total Pease or Jeroen Visser just pipped him on the line, or just overtaken the final lap where I think Cameron Dowds was defenceless. Walter has one around here. That was back in season 7. I think I'm talking about the sprint race, if I remember correctly, where I think Cameron Dowd just lost it. There was a sprint and a feature, and I don't really think about sprint races either because they're not really my thing. But here comes Strauss now coming towards the line. He's going to cross the line now to go up into P10, just inside with a 14.6. And Bompier, look at you with the facts as Nathan goes off the track in Aquaminerale. So yeah, Bompier knows his history as well in CRL. How much do you know, Bompier? Because I've got a list of about 50 drivers with their points, podiums, etc. Don't ask me who, but yeah, the actual standards hasn't been updated yet because I judged them from season 9. 3-4 goes up into P15, with 5 tenths up in the middle sector. He is a reserve driver, so decent lap from him, considering he is a Division 2 driver. Pyro, unfortunately, has invalidated his lap time. But look at the top 5 there, including Sieb, Jeroen, Nelly Safu, Sweet Crown, and Pease. All big names in CRL, all have had loads of wins and podiums apiece, except Nelly Safu, who's not even reached a podium yet. Well, he has now in last week's Australian Grand Prix. But make our way down towards turn 2 we go. Let's see how it takes it in 5th gear. Some people do use 4th, but he uses a lot of curb in turn 3. A lot of it indeed. Not really worried about how, if the car is going to be unsettled. As here we are, they're coming towards the chicane. We go at the end of the first set. It's going to be a 23.7. 1,000 up. You will beat me in CRL Trivia? Is that how you say it? Trivia every single time. Maybe, but yeah. You commentate with me in season 3, no, tier 3 sometimes, didn't you, Bompier? I think you've got more heads up on tier 3 because I've commentated in multiple divisions. You know, it's so confusing when, like, see, you got like Div 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it gets swapped around all the time, back to like 3 or 4. I get confused which division I commentated for that season because I've done Division 4 before. Division 4, that's how you say it, tier 4, sorry. As Lenny Safu, this 1,000 won't put him into pole. So let's see then, can he improve? Can he beat Giroud this time? As the Mercedes driver makes his way towards the final corner of Asa 2, the DRS is enabled. Can Nelly Safu try and take pole? Look at that, 30.7, and he improved massively in that final sector there, did Nelly Safu. What a lap time. And I think qualifying is done and dusted for him, as there's no more time left in this session to really improve. Sweet Crown, Pease, Pyro, all on their laps. Here comes Pyro now, the Ferrari, making his way towards the line. A P4 ahead of Sweet Crown, who's currently on a lap. No, he's not actually. Sweet Crown is not going for a flying lap. There is 1 minute and 10 seconds left. So what is he actually doing? That's the question, is Sweet Crown. Is he... I'm not quite sure what the tactic is there, but he'll have about 2 seconds left to spare. Jeroen Visser is going for another flying lap. His final lap of the session then. Here is Season 6 winner, or Season 7's winner. Jeroen Visser coming through turn 2, 3 and 4, taking it very nicely there, using all the road, flat out through those corners as we make our way towards the end of the bonus section. Sorry about that. I think that Bunnies might not be joining. Or Yogurt, sorry, so I need to check. Can I get Bunnies in? I have sent them an invite, maybe a party invite too. This is what happened exactly 2 seasons ago when the other co-commentator didn't make it here in Imola and Bunnies joined in very late. I don't know why I remember things like this. I'm just a bit special when it comes to stuff like that. But here comes Giroud now coming towards the middle sector. 10th and a half up. Lenny Safu's retired. He can't go for it again. Where's Sweet Crown? Sweet Crown has about 5 seconds left to go to make it. He does. He only just makes it by 2 seconds, like I said. Here comes Giroud Visser through Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. Can this man take pole? Carrying it through 4th gear in the final corner, back on the loud pedal. Can the Dutchman take away pole from Sieb? And he can! It's a 30.4, and he beats Sieb World Gamer, who is currently not improving on his flying lap. His Red Bull teammate has crossed the line to stay wherever he is right now. That's free fall, or the RB, sorry, I get confused between the RB and the Red Bull. Here comes Sieb now out of the final corner. He's about to go. Can he take pole away? The question is no. The answer is no, sorry, but he does improve up into P2. Sweet Cloud 2000s down in the first set as he makes his way towards Aqua Minerale. Let's see what his end of the middle set is going to be like. A 49.3, almost a 10th up, but this won't put him anywhere near pole. So let's see then, how far up the order can Sweet Crown get? Nathan goes up into P10 in the kickstart, but Strauss has been pushed down into P11. Jack on his return into P12. Where is Delano? Into P7, there he is in the Aston Martin. Sweet Crown out of the final corner with the DRS wide open. Let's see, can the Dutchie take pole? No, he can't, too far behind. It's a 40.0. What a big gap in qualifying. But this should be an interesting race. It was very chaotic at the Australian Grand Prix. 3 safety cars in that race. But hopefully it won't be as dramatic as it was last week. Or in Season 9 either, because that was a very chaotic race indeed. Not a lot of people finished in Season 9. It was AMS Renz who picked up a podium on his debut, but I don't think AMS Renz is returning after what he saw in Season 9. I am calling Jochen van Kessel, so just bear with me for the time being. Yogurt, as he's called. He said he was going to be here, but I'm not quite sure where that Dutchie is. So there's your pole times. Then there is the classification of qualifying. Yuri Vissels on pole ahead of C by 2/10. Nelly Safu in P3, the man that took pole in the Australian Grand Prix last week. P4 for Pyro, another great qualifying. Let's hope he don't make contact with Steve again, like he did in turn 7 and turn 8, or turn 9 and turn 10. Sweet Crowley P5 ahead of Pease. Delano P7, AJ P8 ahead of Duval in the RB. Nathan P10 ahead of Strauss. Jack in 12th ahead of Kenny, Derry OG 14th, 3-4 15th, Pharrell 16th ahead of Cole Paradox, Ali 18th ahead of Legende, and Knowsley, who crashed out on qualified, will start in the last place. Jochen van Kessel is finally coming. He thought the league started at 8:15. Did Tier 1 used to start at 8:30? I hated that so much. And look at that, we've got rain on the horizon too. I think it was raining in 2022, wasn't it, here in Imola, if I can remember correctly. Probably rained in the sprint race, but definitely rained in qualifying. I think it rained partly, because I remember Kevin Magnussen being up there, but his old intermediate tyres are just dying out. Russell got past. Norris finished in P3 despite that McLaren not being a good car that season. Can't remember what happened in last year's Grand Prix in Imola for some reason. Bit of a blur. That year, 2023, is a bit of a blur for me, the whole of it. I can barely remember what happened last year, even though I remember races from years and years and years ago. But 2024 has been amazing. I think 2024 has been one of the best seasons since 21. I think everybody can agree. No matter who of a fan you are, Verstappen or Lando Norris, this has been an excellent season. And it shows why Max Verstappen is still a champion, is a four-time world champion, because despite not having a great car, despite spending mid-season in suspension, he managed to capitalise and try and gain as many points as he can as he ahead of Lando Norris. Try and beat him as much as he can, because Lando Norris and McLaren were tripping over themselves this season quite a lot. A lot of points were lost, if you think about it, all the way back to the Miami Grand Prix, where McLaren started to find some form. It was actually here in Imola where Lando Norris managed to find his form in the McLaren, closing down Max Verstappen, and Verstappen just held on. Jochen van Kessel, you best be here, mate. Be very quick. The formation lap is underway. And let's see, the wet tyres are fitted onto the cars, except Delano. Delano has gone on the intermediates. That's a very interesting strategy call there for the Aston Martin driver. Could this be an absolute blinder, absolute masterclass? Or could it be an absolute, bad decision there for Delano? Who knows? But how intense is this rain going to be? Is it going to last for us for the whole Grand Prix? That's the main question we all want to know. 20 drivers though filling in. Legende in P19 despite finishing P3 the Australian Grand Prix. He does struggle from time to time, does Legende. Right, so all the cars they're making their way towards the grid. Giroux is on pole ahead of Sieb. Sieb is looking for his third win of the season. Giroux's last win came at the Japanese Grand Prix, and we'll see. The two Dutchies go into battle with Nelly Safu, hot off a victory from last week in Australia. Can he keep it up? And it's nice to see a change in fortune there for the Mercedes driver, who has really struggled recently in league racing. Giroux' last win, was at Silverstone last season. I do get confused because a lot of things have happened from time to time. Thinking about other leagues and thinking about ACC as well. But you can see multiple people being disqualified from this session. Giroux has only had 2 wins last season, one in Japan and the other one at the British GP. This is going to be very interesting that all 20 drivers are lined up on the grid and are about to get racing anytime soon. Underway for the Imola Grand Prix. Let's see, massive wheel spin for every driver. See though, powers past Visser, who is falling, dropping like a stone. He's lost about 4 or 5 places. Contact, and Paolo is in the wall. There's a Williams, a sweet car, massive contact there, and it's a virtual safety car. Big smash up for the guys in the midfield. Legende gets a retired from the Grand Prix. It's out of the Grand Prix. Is there a safety car? Massive crash going down towards turn 2 and turn 3. And that was caused by Ferrari, who was arriving out of control. As a lot of people are picking up penalties in this race. Could this be? Is this a safety car? I think a safety car has been deployed. As you could see, there is a yellow car on the full map, so that's a safety car being deployed. That was a very messy start. Where is Visser? Visser is down to P7, so the man that was on pole, unfortunately, has lost 6 places at the start of the Grand Prix. Steve jumped him, Nelly Safu is up into P2 now, ahead of P's. And Duval's up into P4. Wow, what a great start from Duval, gaining 5 places too. Derry from 14th up into 6th place. Kenny is up into P10, Farrell is up into P11, Jack stayed where he started despite all that. But look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people have all picked up penalties. Look at that, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. How is this race going to be decided now? Could this be, I don't want to say restart because, yeah, but look at all them picking up 10, 20 second time penalties. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like ignoring yellow flags, but how are you going to stop right behind Tony when he spun? You've got to overtake him, surely. Overtaking a slower moving car. What a chaotic lap that was. And Pease is in the pit lane. Is this Inters? Delano's got a 10-second time penalty, and Pease is on the intermediates there. So I think Delano has made the right call going in the Inters, if that's the case. But Delano's in the pit lane already. There's a lot of people entering the pit lane to get rid of their 10-second time penalties and change their wings. Look at that, half the field's in the pit lane, but 2 of them for different reasons. Pease is now up to P11. Delano pitted, and he was the one that started the Inters, but I think he picked up a 10-second time penalty, so he's got rid of that in the pit lane. AJ has not pitted just yet. He's got a 10-second time penalty, but Pease, Delano, Yeroon and Sweetcrown, they all believe that the intermediates are the way to go. One retirement in this race, which is a Legende. I didn't see what happened to him, but I assume he got caught up in that massive collision going down into turn 2. That's quite strange, but Pyro once again causing these incidents, and like he did in the Australian Grand Prix, he took out, I think it was Murky. But Casper Gillen is in the chat. We know who that is. It's Legende, and he'll be absolutely frustrated because he is out of the race. A shame, because he went from a podium in Australia, and now he's retired here in Imola. So it didn't really last it didn't really last 2 corners, really, did Casper Gillen, but it's a shame, really, because what could he have done from starting at the back of the field? Miracles happen. Delano's still got a penalty, by the way, so I think he picked up 20 seconds, now he's got 10, because more than a few people picked up more than one 10-second time penalty. So maybe they might go in the pit lane again to get rid of that 10-second time penalty, then they can be back on a level playing field. But yeah, let me go watch that start, because that was very hard to condemn. What on earth happened there? So it looks like Tony and Pease made contact. I'm just rewinding it back so I can get a full clue what happened. So bad start from Yeroon. Pease goes past. There is slight contact between the Mercedes and the McLaren, but they get away unscathed. Delano's in the pit lane again. Then it's just a massive pile-up going down this turn 2. Cole Paradox is in last place. I'm not quite sure what happened to Legende at that point. I'm surprised that Pyro survived, because even though him and Cole Paradox were in the wall together, there was a load of traffic coming at them. It was very dangerous to do. Was that Cole Paradox, or was it Sweet Crown they made contact with in the wall? I think it was Sweet Crown that went to the wall with him. Cole Paradox also had a very bad start too. No, actually he's up into P now, but he was in P18 before these pit stops. Look at that. Look how much the field has been jumping around. Knowles is getting 10 places in 3 laps. Very chaotic start indeed, but hopefully we can get going once again. And Duel is on the podium for the first time in a long time in Division 1. I can't remember, when his last podium was in Division 1. But I do remember, though, when his last actual podium was in Division 2. Because he had 4 podiums out of 6 races in Division 2 last season in Season 10. He won 1 Grand Prix. I think that was the Dutch GP where he won. But after that, his form went down. So I'm not quite sure what happened to him. His form just really disappeared after those early good races he had. Encountered a lot of podiums and wins, and looking like he was a championship leader. But so far, it's a P3 here in Imola, and we'll see what can the 2-time champion, everybody's favourite driver, can do. They've been around since Season 1 as Duval, so is AG as well, so is Nathan. But of course it's been around since Season 1 because Nathan and AJ are league owners. But the safety car should come in at the end of the next lap then, because the McLaren driver, sorry about that, I keep hiccuping, and Duval is in, that's AJ now in the pit lane. So I presume he's going to get rid of his 10-second time penalty he has picked up. He's the only driver in the field now to get a 10-second time penalty, but he can get rid of that and put on a set of intermediate tyres. It doesn't look Tetris out there, you know. I think the call was to go on the intermediates was probably a good call. But if only Delano did not pick up that 10-second time penalty, he could have been in the net lead right now, depending on how big the crossover point is between the Inters and the Wets, how much of a big advantage the Inters are. Maybe, let's have a look. Because I've been in these situations plenty of times where the wet tyres or the intermediates are just on an unknown. It's really cost me races too, and Knowsley knows what I'm talking about because it happened to me a few weeks ago, unfortunately. But what is the best call? I think the intermediates could be the best tyre because it doesn't look pouring out there, does it? So I think it's just light standard conditions. So I think P's made the right call to go on the intermediates. And we'll see. Yavun's down there in P10. Sweetcorn, look at that. P, Yavun and Sweetcorn. When all 3 of them get together, you always know something's going to be cooking up between all 3 of them. And of course, they've shared the podium. Yavun, Sweetcorn and Peas. I had a stat on how many times those 3 have shared the podium together, but unfortunately, my laptop broke, so I don't have these stats anymore. And I also remember Yavun versus win in Singapore, because he was on old tyres. The safety car came at the wrong time for him, but somehow he managed to defend against Walter, and the rest of them chasing on him back in Season 9 at the Singapore Grand Prix. So the Red Bull driver Steve then will continue to lead them away, but who has made the right call? Is it the people that stayed out there on the wet tyres, or is it the people on the Inters? We're about to find out shortly. As we make our way now towards the final 2 corners we go, we can presume racing once again, and we'll see if there could be any major changes now with people on the intermediate tyres. I think it's the best tyres to go towards now. Pease will have a big advantage. How quickly can he overtake those cars? Will he be caught up in any traffic, any chaos, as it always happens to be here in CRL? But anyways, Seed will crawl across the line and he will lead them away again. Nelly Safu is right behind. We're followed by Duval and Nathan in P3 and P4. Just further behind is Derry OG, who started down in about, can't remember where exactly, but here comes Nelly Safu side by side with Pease. Steve, as we go down towards turn 2 and turn 3. They're so close, almost contact there, like Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in 2021. But they make it unscathed, and Steve still claims the lead of the Grand Prix as these 2 behind us going wheel to wheel. That's Nathan versus Duval, but who's that in the background there getting caught up in that? That's Derry falling down the order, unfortunately. There's 3 abreast going down in towards turn 7. Pease up the inside, taking 3 drivers on from 7th to 4th. Incredible stuff indeed. And Williams has spun. That's Sweetcorn, who was spun in the background, unfortunately. He's on the intermediate tyres, and here comes Yavun Vizard now on 3-4. And Duval's going wide, and here comes Pease. He's up into P3 already, not yet though. He's side by side into Aquamanarani. You can see that Duval's defending, but he can't quite do it, and Pease is up into P3. What a first lap Pease is having. Yavun Vizard is up into P5, ahead of Knowsley. The intermediates have definitely made the right call. But I don't think those inters could go towards the end, you know. I think they might just suffer a bit of tire wear towards the end. So watch out for that. As here comes Knowles now, right to the back of Jeroen, but you know, he just overtaken him a few corners ago. Sieb remains in the lead by nearly Safu. The way those two went side by side, they had the trust, the confidence not to make contact. And look at that, Jeroen now can see Duval in his sights alongside him, and he put himself into P4. No, Duval just stays ahead. He's got no battery, has Jeroen Visser, so he has to stay behind him. Very painful indeed to want to make his way forwards rather than being stationary behind someone in the intermediates. But you can be very careful not to make contact in these corners, gets a better exit and goes around the outside into 4 to put himself into 4th place. Great move there from Jeroen Visser. In the background, that's Delano, who's looking to try and take on Dario OG, but goes a bit wide himself, almost loses the car. And Knowlesley, the two RBs are in a big scrap. Knowlesley gets a better exit, a switch back there from the RB driver, and they're going wheel to wheel, but Duval just stays ahead of his RB for the time being. Duval and Knowlesley together in a team. They've been around for such a long time. Of course, one of them is a 2-time world champion. The other one is also a director in another league, a very nice guy indeed, and racing here in Division 1 for a very long time. Once Division 2 driver, they both were, but now they're going to wheel again, but Duval just stays in front. Had a bad exit at the exit of Acca Minerale, but just stays in front for the time being. But how much longer? Because Knowlesley seems to have better traction, better grip. In the background, that's Delano looking for another move on Dario OG. But here comes Knowlesley, doesn't go for the move down the inside. Here comes Delano on the inside of Dario OG, and he puts himself into P7. Not the progress I dare say he would have wanted to make, because the rest of the guys on the inters pulled away. And in the pit lane comes Dario OG. Here comes the two RBs then. Knowlesley, surely this time, has the jump on his teammate, and he puts himself up into P5 ahead of Duval. But they're still side by side, but I think Knowles now just inching forwards and remains in P5. Remember, Knowlesley caused that safety car in the Australian Grand Prix. Look at Duval out of turn 4, really struggling for traction. Here comes Delano now side by side going towards the front chicane, but Duval around the outside. In the background, that's Kenny and 3-4 going wheel to wheel, and Delano gets ahead. Lovely switch back, puts himself up into P6 ahead of the RB driver of Duval. There's Kenny, also on a set of intermediate tyres. And he's also trying to make up as many positions as he can now, using the intermediate tyres to his advantage, make his way further through the field, and we'll see where he can end up. Pyro's ahead of Cole Paradox, the man that caused all the mess down at turn 2. And the safety car, surprisingly, only one driver retired, because I saw front wings shattering everywhere, debris spewed across the circuit, and surprisingly only one driver out of the Grand Prix, which is legendary. Kenny gets a 3-second time penalty, the first driver in the race to pick up a 3-second time penalty. That's going to be very common around here. We've not even spoken about track limits before, but we know that track limits is a killer in league racing, especially around a track like this in Imola, where it's very easy and common to pick one up. So don't be surprised to see many people pick up penalties in this Grand Prix. Jeroen Visser has set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and Pease is pressurising Safu as we go down towards turn 2. But Pease just has to stay behind. He knows he's on the better tyres, so he can't afford to make any contact with first and second. Got to pick his moment at the right time, making sure he keeps Jeroen behind at the same time as well. It's really nice to see Jeroen Visser back in racing, and he's putting massive pressure on Pease, who's trying to go down the inside now into turn 7. Look at that, Jeroen Visser around the outside into Torsa we go, but Pease leaves enough room, or does he? There's a bit of contact between the two on the exit there, but Jeroen Visser is still there around the outside, and he muscles his way past, puts himself into P3. Jeroen Visser has got such great pace. The man that starts the pole, dropped down the order, is now about to take another one on. Nelly Safu is the next one, and he puts himself into P2. There is Sieb right in front of us, who's really struggling on them wet compound tyres. And here comes Jeroen now. That's 3 places gained in about 2 seconds. Oh, look at that. Almost arriving out of control there, locking up the rear end as he managed to keep it under control. And now he's in the lead of the Grand Prix. Delano is putting pressure on Knowlesley, so Knowlesley has dropped his teammate, who is really struggling there in the other RB, and Duval finds Kenny right behind him too. Multiple podium sitter is ILT Kenny. He's taken a pole before too, but Kenny, I don't think he's actually won a Grand Prix before. It's been super close, but not close enough. Here comes Pease on Safu, who puts himself into P3. That's a penalty there for Knowlesley, who picked himself up a speeding penalty in the pit lane. But Pease, once he overtakes Sieb, Will he be able to stick at the back of Jeroen Visser? Ideally, he needs to overtake Steve right now to make sure to get hold up in these mid-speed corners and allow Jeroen Visser to pull away. In the background, Kenny's lost a few more places. Kenny's in the gravel. And yeah, that's a shame there for him after making up some good ground on those inters. Here comes AJ now on 3-4. 3-4 goes wide, and AJ might take advantage. He will, and goes around the outside. In the foreground, that is Pyro versus Duval. And here comes AJ trying to go around the outside again. Has a better exit and launches himself up into P8 ahead of the Red Bull. Here comes Pyro on Duval going down towards Piratella. And Pyro puts himself up into P6 ahead of the RB driver, who is really struggling on that wet compound tyres. Pharrell Williams. He's ahead of the Williams and Sweet Clown. But Sweet Clown just stays ahead of Pharrell, So Steve's still in Pease' way. Pease cannot dispatch him quickly as we make our way towards Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. Surely Pease should have a good exit. Try and out-drag him going down towards turn 2. Get ahead of him. Can he keep up with Jeroen Visser? That's the question. Jeroen Visser's got some mighty pace and continue to break away from second and third. Here comes Pease now, puts himself up into P2. Can he catch Jeroen Visser? There is 22 laps left to go in this race. There is still a long way to go in this race. Anything can happen. But I'm surprised these people on the wet compound tyres are not pitting yet. These guys are still on the wet, so they're struggling, losing a lot of time. But just managed to hold on. What is their strategy for the wet runners? To try and stay out there as long as they can, then go on the intermediates later on? Not quite sure why they're going to do that, because they're going to lose a lot more time to those guys on the inters. It's definitely inter territory now, so the people in the wet compound tyres will struggle quite a lot in this Grand Prix, especially in this phase. In the background, that's Freefall having a bit of a moment now, the Villa chicane, as down the inside goes Kenny again, puts himself back into P9. So Kenny, who lost 4 places after spinning out at turn 2 and turn 3, gets going once again, back inside the top 10. And we also know that Kenny didn't have a great race either, because he spun, I think AJ spun. Matt says, why is Jack on hard compound tyres? You know what, that's a good question. Why he's in the hard compound tyres, but let's see that there's not going to be a good strategy whatsoever. It's like the Turkey situation where Sebastian Vettel pitted onto mediums on a wet track and didn't do any favours either. But Jack has gone for the hard compound tyres, and as you can see, not the best route, so I'm not quite sure where he's racing. It's like, I think, Charles Leclerc's situation back in Canada 2024 when he pitted on the hards, where everybody else was on the inters. But clearly the inters and the wets are still better. Well, inters are way more better. Kenny now on the back of Duval. And let's see then how this battle plays out between these two. Kenny right behind him in the slipstream, pulls to the right hand side, but Duval has him covered for the time being, so it makes it even more difficult for Kenny to try and get past in the Haas, who's still in ILT, and he's about to go side by side into turn 4. Can he make it stick? It's a risky, brave move, and paid off in the end to put himself into P8 ahead of the RB driver. And Sweet Cloud 2 has got past Freefall, and he puts himself into P10. Oh, it's a massive shame for Sweet Cloud. I would have loved to see him go through the field like a hot knife through butter. And there's a virtual safety car because Jack, or I think the Haas, has put it in the barriers, and he has. You can see him lost his wing. Mark. Oh, it's a safety car. A safety car has been deployed. Is that a safety car, or is that a... I think it is a safety car, because as you can see, the car is stationary on the circuit, so a safety car has been deployed. And how on earth has Pyro picked himself up a 3-second penalty under a safety car? Last time a safety car came out in wet conditions, and Aston Martin went past, and that was Indian Jesus, who crashed into the safety car. He crashed into the safety car after being in the lead. That's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen so far. But yeah, Indian Jesus, what a guy. The man that won the championship in season 10, sorry. We had a lot of pressure facing him. It was ILT Crack and Jack who were putting the big pressure on too. ILT Crack and Jack and Indian Jesus. Rapid, there we go. Rapid, Crack and Indian Jesus, all three of them going at it. What a championship battle. First to third, separated by about 6 points at the end of the Grand Prix. It was so intense between all three of them, but Indian Jesus made it out on top. And as you expected, why are these guys going on hard compound tyres? Wow. This rain has to clear up really quickly if they're going to make this work. So I think the people in the wet compound tyres try to extend it towards the dry period. Instead of doing wet into medium or hard, they're doing wet to hard. But it's a bit too early, do you think? Surely the rain's not going to clear up anytime soon. It's still raining on the circuit, but there's a lot of people going on the hard compound tyres. Do you know what? This could be really interesting. Loads of phases in this Grand Prix. Maybe more to spice things up. I'm just lucky to see if Kenny's actually won a Grand Prix because it's one of them things really that you expect him to win, but he hasn't got the pace. He finished in P3 in season 10's championship. So yeah, Kenny's definitely got the pace, but I think he's been super close to winning or being on the podium as ILT Kenny, but just hasn't really had the best of luck. I know Kenny is also a commentator too, which I didn't know that, but yeah, he commentated in a few races and he did a fantastic job with that as well. I just laughed at something because I saw the podiums at the Bahrain Grand Prix in last season, and I just saw that picture. But it just brings back so many memories as well, seeing Rapid, Kraken, Indian Jesus all go for the championship. Sahila as well, he used to be a former driver. Pink Eye, he used to be a former driver too. So these guys are going on hard compound tyres, and I think now the rain period has stopped as the Aston Martin Jackman puts his thing down in the wrong place. His front jack in the wrong place. He just left it there, right in the middle. Don't know why I'm still on board in the pit lane. Who am I on board with? I'm not quite sure actually. Yeah, so back on the screen now, and CRL Strauss is still out there on the intermediate tyres, but, and as you can see, it's so weird this game, because 1 minute it's pouring it down, the next minute it's dry, so it really does, it is really weird how things work out here. So CRL Strauss leads him away, but I think he knows that it's time to pit on the intermediate on the hard compound tyres to take towards the end of the race. Kenny's best result. I don't think he has a win yet, does ILT Kenny? No, he hasn't. I keep saying it every single time. I think last season, season 9. When is Kenny going to get his first win? Kenny took pole, I think, at the Bahrain Grand Prix last season, but unfortunately spun in that Grand Prix. His best result is P2. When he finished second behind Nathan JB. Is that a lot of bad luck so far, is ILT Kenny? And ILT Phil, what's he doing nowadays? I messaged ILT Ennis to see what he's doing, because I believe that ILT Ennis keeps racing. He could be a potential Tier 1 championship driver. But now Strauss peels off into the pit lane. So what happened to Yeru Vizor? Why is he down in P3? He got jumped by Safu and Sieb. He was the net race leader. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see now. Yeah, I understand now why he got jumped by those guys. But Jack has got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, or exceeding track limits. Strauss on the medium compound tyres. There is Jack, who pitted about 3 laps ago too early. And I presume he's going to retire in the pit lane, because that's another penalty picked up to his name. That's what people do when they get frustrated. They pick up more penalties and retire. So it's Sieb leading the Grand Prix. A disgruntled Sieb after being taken out at the Australian Grand Prix. He spun under the second safety car, and the first time is when he picked up damage from Tony when he spun him out in turn on the turn 10. But Sieb is a man on a mission this season, looking for more race wins, looking to be that championship fight. He turned off assists, I think, in 2023. He went to the wheel in 2022. I remember, because Sieb was the Tier 2 driver for a bit of time before he made his way back towards Tier 1. And season 10 is when he really showed some fantastic pace. I don't think Jack realises that when you get a penalty for speeding the pit lane, it's 10 seconds, not 5 seconds this time, so it's changed around. But Yeru Vizor had incredible pace on those inters. Does he have the same thing on the dry compound tyres? Can Yeru Vizor be back up there? What about Total P's in P4? Delano is running a strong race once again in the Aston Martin. I know Delano was leading the Australian Grand Prix a little bit as well, and so was Farrell in 19th place, but Farrell this time hasn't really had a good race so far in Imola. Neither has his teammate Nathan JB in 15th place, so both Kick Saubers are struggling so far. And also Pharrell has been a long-time member of CRL as well, since like I think it was season 1. So he's been around for such a long time. Me and him, we've had our own problems recently. No, not recently. About 2-3 years ago, but it's all good now. And I think he's also commentated alongside me a few times. He's also picked up a few wins and podiums as well in his time here. Oh no! Seamus spun! Seamus spun out of the final corner! And that's going to be big now for the race. Look, he's trying to win, but unfortunately has spun. And the lead has gone towards Safu. Yuvusa is right behind him as we go down towards turn 2. Oh, see, well, he's going to be so frustrated making those small mistakes, man. And look at Safu getting a massive snap. Here comes Yuvusa, side by side at the exit of turn 4. But who will he be? Will he be brave enough to go down the inside? Yes, he will. It's turn 5 and turn 6. Bit of contact there. Then Safu and Yuvusa as well. Bearing in mind, all these drivers have got to think about their tyres as well. As you can see, pushing into the corners. This track is still green because it's just dried up due to the rain. So not full grip conditions. It's all about who can manage the tyres and manage the car, or manage the track as well. It's really hard as Ali Ali's retired from the Grand Prix. Another safety car? Are you serious? And that's Sieb as well being caught up. What happened to him again? Sieb says he was not going to mess around after the Australia Grand Prix. He was fully committed and trying to be up there, but it's gone downhill. And once again, why is it after a safety car he does that? He did it at the Australian Grand Prix under that second safety car. Now he's done it again. So what is wrong with him spinning all the time? So I don't think nobody's going to pit because well, it's too early and you'll lose track position. So what I wanted to mention is about the rain. The track is still green, it's just drying out properly. The grip is not there yet, so that's why other people may be quicker than others, because they're adjusted to the track conditions better than other people. The adaptation you need during league racing. And that's why Yuvusa was probably under the back of Nelly Safu, who just couldn't get the temperature in his tyres, couldn't find the grip out of the corners, where Yuvusa was finding grip left, right and centre. Delano looks very good in P4, you know, in the Aston Martin, looking very good so far, and we'll see if there's a chance for him to be on the podium. Of course, Delano has been around for such a long time as well. He finished in P4 the Australian Grand Prix from starting 7th, so could it be another P4? Or could this be a podium? But the guys ahead of us, these three are really tough to beat. Safu, Yavoon and Pease. Nelly Safu, who was a Tier 1 driver himself all those seasons ago. And I know he made a lot of mistakes. I remember the Baku Grand Prix was one of them. I remember the Singapore Grand Prix was one of them as well. But he still did his best to try and stick with league racing despite it being so difficult. So a second safety car, or third, has appeared in this Grand Prix. We'll never get finished once again. It's like the Australian Grand Prix. So many safety cars in this one. I'm just trying to figure out when Nelly Safu raced, what season it was, because I'm trying to look, but I just can't find him anywhere. He may have been in Division 2 for quite a bit. Who was the driver that won in Division 3 after starting in last place? And he beat Indian Jesus. I can't remember who it was now, but I think it was last season where he started in last place, had a very bad qualifying. In fact, I think he crashed in qualifying, and he came back to finish in first place after a fantastic race. And I thought it to be a massive challenge since then, but the name's in my head. I don't want to say it, just in case, but the name is in my head. Like, I got all these random flashbacks just popping up. It's so frustrating, like when you think you know the answer but you don't, you're a bit hesitant, you don't want to say it just in case because it could get you in trouble because you're thinking about the same person. Nelly Safu was in Tier 2 in Season 9, but not quite sure where he was in Season 10. But I definitely know for sure that he was struggling quite a lot in Season 7 and 8 every time he raced around here in CRL. Just always been at the back with his teammate. But I'm trying to find that race where the race results, where I remember. That's what happens when you commentate for multiple divisions. You just forget. I can't really remember everything that goes on really. It was at the Singapore Grand Prix. I think it was last season. Or it could have been season 9 actually, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think it was in season 9. I don't know why that Singapore race just randomly popped up in my head. It's because I'm thinking about Nelly Safu, and somebody else was close to him as well. I didn't commentate for Tier 3 last year, so the safety car is coming in towards the end of this lap. You know, I'll find it later, but for now it's just stuck in my head. It's so annoying, because I remember clear as day. It could have been Victor Mean. I think it could have been an Indian driver. I'm not quite sure who it was. But anyways, we forget about that. We'll just move on to the current, the present now, and we'll get racing once again, and we'll see what happens at the safety car restart. Will Nelly Safu keep Jeroen Visser behind, or will Jeroen Visser get the jump on him? Safu is looking for his second win of the season, and we're about to find out what he could do. Past the halfway stage in this Grand Prix, there's Pyro right to the back of Delano as we make our way down towards turn 1. Pyro gets ahead. He puts himself into 4th place, but can Delano fight back as we head down towards turn 2? No, we can't. Jeroen Visser has just picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. That's his chance to winning, getting slimmer and slimmer. And Knowles, he also gets a 3-second time penalty too. So Nelly Safu there he's under massive pressure, but he knows the guy behind does have a 3-second time penalty. Could that be a bit of relief on his shoulders? But he could be still under massive pressure because Jeroen's got some mighty pace. It's all about consistency as well. Who could pick up the least penalties or no penalties? Because we've seen plenty of times in the past where, oh, look at this, Jeroen Visser is so close to the back of Nelly Safu. Got some tremendous pace. And here he is at the exit at Acamella Raleigh. Surely not going to go for a move there. Not down the inside anyway, into Valiente Al Chicane. But we know the DRS is going to be activated. It says Jay Hart now, the one that won the Grand Prix, but it wasn't him. Yeah, it was him who won the Grand Prix, but I'm just trying to figure out like who was the driver that won the Singapore Grand Prix from starting in last place. It's bugging me for some reason. I don't know why that's got in my head. But here comes now the RP driver of Jeroen Visser going side by side. But no, here comes Pease now, side by side with Jeroen as we head down towards turn 2. Can Pease take the lead of the Grand Prix? He got past Jeroen. Can he get past Safu? Oh, he's off the track. He makes contact and he spins off in the ground. Jeroen Visser's crashed as well. He's out of the Grand Prix. And now Pyro and Delano have been promoted up into P2 and P3 with Kenny in 4th place. And Safu has been left alone. No, he hasn't, because Pyro now is in 1st place. Pyro has taken the lead of the Grand Prix. Up into 1st place he goes, but Jeroen Visser is out. And it all happened when Pease went off the grass, lost traction, and unfortunately spun himself out and took Jeroen out with him. Jeroen Visser on his return back to racing in CRL, unfortunately is out of the Grand Prix. I'm not quite sure how close those two are in terms of friends. And Sweet Clan is not happy with Ali for some reason. Nathan gets a 3-second penalty. Duwell could be on the podium too. We've had Legende, the Division 2 driver from last season, pick up his first podium in Division 1 this season. But Duwell, his last podium was last season at the Dutch Grand Prix, but for Division 1 it was such a long time ago. And here we are then, the DRS is enabled. Can Duwell get himself back at the podium? Knowles was the leader of the RBs earlier on. Has Nelly Safu got any damage? Yes, he has! Nelly Safu has got front wing damage. Explains why he's losing a bit of performance there. But, Tony, could this be a big chance for him to pull away with 12 laps left to go? The question is, he needs to break out the DRS range first. It's so difficult. I'm surprised that Safu can keep up in these mid-speed, high-speed corners, slow-speed corners as well, for good measure. He's still able to be on the back of the Ferrari. But Tony needs to use that to his advantage as well to pull away. Safu needs to keep his eyes clean with no track limits. As long as Safu can stay in Tony's DRS and not pick up any penalties, he should be okay, but there's 12 laps left to go. With the lack of downforce in high-speed corners, you're bound to go off the circuit, you're bound to understeer off the track, but so far he's managed it really well, so fair dues to Safu. Despite having damage, still doing a great job. If Duwell gets the podium here tonight, memory and history will be made again for the 2-time champion. As we make our way out of Avazza 2, there is Delano with a 3-second time penalty under massive pressure from the RB and Duwell right behind. Who is it I'm going to be speaking to? Safu sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, chasing Tony. Here we are side by side. Pease has set the fast lap of the Grand Prix as Duval is up into P3 and ahead of Delano. But I got a big, strong suggestion for you guys. Could Duval win this Grand Prix? We know that Pyro's got a 3-second time penalty, and we know that Safu is lacking downforce. So, can Duval get his first win in Division 1 since God knows how long, about season 6 or 7? That'll be history making there for Duval if he can do it. But yeah, we'll see. But there's one man behind you who has been involved in incidents in this race as well that you don't want behind you. It's his speed car, and I said it at the Australian Grand Prix, and I'll say it here again. He's right there. He'll take any chances he can get. More speed crown. And so far, despite all his problems, he dropped backwards at the start of the Grand Prix with contact with Tony. But after that, he's got going once again. And we'll see what speed car could do. He is on the medium compound tyres, of course. And his first target is Delano in P4. There he is, right at the back of the Aston Martin. Looking to take the pressure, looking to put the pressure on the Aston Martin to get ahead of him. Speed car could still be in the podium after all. He's been doing the Grand Prix. He hasn't got a 3-second time penalty like the rest of the field have. Pease could catapult up the order. He's right behind Strauss. And here is Speed Crown taking away P4. And here comes Tony back around the outside. But Safu gonna hold. He spins the car and he's off the circuit. He keeps it going on the track. But Safu, making contact with Tony, has pushed him down into P7 now. And Speed Crown is right at the back of Duval. No offence to Speed Crown, but I really wanted Duval to win this Grand Prix. Of course, the Speed Crown will understand with the history and all that. But look at that. Delano now gets a better exit than him out of turn 7, but Speed Crown just stays ahead. And here comes the Haas of Kenny, who's looking feisty. He puts himself into P4 now. Wow, who is going to win the Grand Prix? It can be Speed Crown or Duval. The question is, with 10 laps left to go, can they keep it nice and clean with no penalties? Speed Crown is starting to struggle now. You can see that Kenny is on the back of him. I wonder how Duval is feeling, but Duval has got to stay in the DRS first to Pyro. He can't afford to be dropping out of the DRS there. Otherwise, he might find himself in a lot of trouble. DRS really helps you get stays and will keep you in play most of the time, or all the time. It's been a long time since we've seen Duval in this position. His last win in CRL was round 5 at the Austin Grand Prix in Texas, when he finished ahead of Tango and Knowsley, and crucially for him, Knowsley, that's his last podium too. Oh, that's a spinner, that's Delano. After having great pace, is down to P10. A few common spins going down there as Cole Paradox picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Kenny's right on the charge as well. He's right behind Speed Car. Pease is ahead of AJ. AJ dropped down, and Steve now goes around the outside of Pease. Can he make it stick? These two were the two former leaders in this Grand Prix, now side by side fighting for P7 as we climb up towards Piratella. It looks like the Mercedes has the advantage, but Pease has the inside line. But I think he's got damage as Steve. Yes, he has. So Steve has lost his end plate. So I'm surprised he's still got some good pace despite having a broken end plate in this Grand Prix. But this is a massive challenge for Duval. With about 10 laps left to go in the Grand Prix, he's got to face adversity from Speed Crown and Kenny. He's got to fight with the top guys in Division 1. A 2-time champion versus a 3-time champion versus Pyro with 1 win only in CRL. And here we are then at the final corner. You can see Speed Crown rise to the back of the 2-time champion. DRS is enabled here on the straight. And looks like McLaren's going for a spin. That's Strauss who's spun. Can Duval keep Speed Crown behind? He's harvesting on the straight here. And he's using the DRS to stay ahead of Speed Crown, which he does. Duval needs to judge this wisely. He needs to make sure he can use the DRS to the back of Tony and try and stay ahead of Speed Crown at the same time. It's going to be very difficult, but it's all about DRS play here. He's in the best position in P2 to try and use the DRS off the back of Pyro to keep Speed Crown and Kenny at bay. In the background, Nathan and Pease getting their elbows out with Steve right behind too. And here he is, Nathan around the outside, into Torso we go. But Pease, can he try and go down the inside? No, he can't. Better exit. Strauss has retired. And we'll see if this is a safety car. It's not a safety car, thankfully. I really hope we don't get any more safety cars in this Grand Prix. I just want this race to go towards the end as it is right now, because we're already set up for an amazing Grand Prix finish. Speed Crown's going for his 33rd win in Cone, and Duval, 2-time champion, go for his first win since the Dutch GP last season. Then it's Safu. He's dropping down the order. There's contact with him and AJ. A miserable race there from the winner of Australia last season or last week. You know what? This is really motivating me now to just do my stats again, because I'm got a bit of cobwebs on the stats recently. I could tell you what happens now and then, but not anymore, because it's been a long time since we've raced here in Cone. It's season 11. The Bahrain Grand Prix was the last race of the season. Pease now is ahead of Nathan. The Bahrain Grand Prix was 10 months ago. Can you believe it? That's 10 months ago since we last raced properly in official season. Then we had the Mini League, season 10.5. And then we had ACC as well. Bit of success, ACC. I'm not quite sure how it's going now, because in all honesty, I didn't really like doing ACC commentary. Nothing to do with Cone, it's just the way ACC is for me. The spectators menu wasn't really that great, I wasn't really enjoying it. But Pyro is almost breaking our DRS range of Dual. I wonder, can Dual could just try and stay in DRS range of Pyro here? Because if you lose that DRS towards Pyro, Sweet Crown and Kenny will be putting big pressure. And also, Kenny's looking for a podium too if he can get it, because he knows that Pyro has also got a 3-second penalty. Let's judge these penalty situations. So Kenny and Pyro are level on penalties. So if Pyro can somehow overtake if Kenny, sorry about that, bit all jumbled up there. If Kenny can overtake Pyro somehow, look at that, Sweet Crown is right to the back of Duval. Is this the moment where Sweet Crown takes the lead of the Grand Prix? Duval used the battery to try and stay ahead of the 3-time champion. Here we go then, Pyro moves to the left hand side, Duval takes the lead of the Grand Prix. That was a forced move really. Sweet Crown forced him into the lead, and here comes Sweet Crown now side by side with Pyro. What a great exit as we go wheel to wheel with the Ferrari, and the Williams too. Pyro defending for what he can. Oh, there's contact, and Sweet Crown is almost in a spin, and here comes Kenny now, and Kenny does not capitalise on that one. Heart in mouth moment there for Duval. Pyro, who's moving left and right, is he saying sorry towards Sweet Crown? Is he acknowledging his mistake? But it's never a good idea, trust me, it's never a good idea. Look at that, Duval has pulled a second on Pyro, so he's used that to his advantage. Pyro caught in the corner there in like a Minerali, trying his best to stay in DRS range. He's still fighting for a podium, but Pease is on the way. Pease with great pace is still on the way and can still take away a podium away from Kenny and Pyro. There is 6 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. Duval's heart rate must be going crazy. He hasn't been in this situation for a long time in Division 1 since his championship winning days. But I really wish I could find his last win in Division 1. I'll promise you guys, I'll do a lot more research than this. DRS enabled for Pyro, but he's just tantalising close outside the DRS range. But this DRS on this lap is helping him strike backwards or strike forwards under a second. Was that a mistake from Duval at the exit of turn 3 there? Was it a bit of a wobble on? I'm not quite sure, but keeps going once again. AJ's ahead of Nelly Safu. Oh, has a bit of a twitch out of turn 2 and turn 3. Look at all these guys. Pharrell in 13th place has not picked up a penalty. Do you know what? If a safety car comes out very late, that'll benefit Pharrell because he's able to leapfrog all these guys in front of him. But that's if a safety car comes out. I've seen him plenty of times before. And that's a Red Bull who's gone for a spin. That is Freefall, unfortunately gone for a spin there. Kenny's right at the back of Speed Car too, still putting that Williams under big pressure. Kenny's main target is Pyro and P2. But at the same time, behind him is Pease. The gap's under 3 seconds between Pease and Kenny. So Kenny's got a lot of work to do. Try and get a podium, but at the same time, try and keep that gap over 3 seconds for Pease. But Pease has got some mighty pace. Ever since that spin, he's still there in P5. So great pace from the McLaren driver. Oh, that's out of the question now, because Pease in Ravazza 1 has picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. But we arrive on the straight once again. Duval, Pyro and Sweet Crown, all with DRS on the straight as we get closer and closer towards Duval. Here comes Pyro for the lead of the Grand Prix. Puts himself into first place ahead of Duval, but gets a massive swapper on at the exit of turn 3. But Duval knows to play this DRS game. He's been in this situation plenty of times. Try and regenerate some battery on this lap to make sure he can try and stay ahead of Sweet Crown. Sweet Crown's tyres, I think they're still in good shape, but he's still under massive pressure from Kenny right behind. And look at that, Sweet Crown, massive wheel spin there for the Williams driver. I wonder how Duval is coping under all sorts of pressure. I really want him to win, you know. He's been an OG in CRL since Season 1. I'm not being biased, of course, but we all love to see that a Duval win after a very long time, after being in absence for a bit, after a few down races, especially last season. Second half of it didn't go really well for Duval. With 4 laps left to go, the pressure is high between all these drivers. Sweet Crown has been winning races 32 times in CRL and way more in different leagues as well. So he's no stranger to winning. He knows how to play this game, of course. Been around for a very long time with Sweet Crown. Since 2018, I think, is when I first met him. But here comes Duval, then right to the back of Pyro. He's forced into an overtake, and here comes Sweet Crown. It's 3 abreast, side by side with Duval. Which one of these two is going to be first? It's Duval has picked himself up a 3, a second time penalty, and any chance to win in there is over now. A bit too ambitious going down towards turn 2. But all Duval can think about now is a podium for sure. The win is out of sight, but Pyro and Kenny make contact. What's going on there between those two? And through goes Pease. Pease is back at the podium somehow after his misfortunes with Nelly Safu and Jeroen Visser. But Duval, there's still a chance for a podium there. What on earth happened between Pyro and Kenny going down towards turn 7? Just hit the back of each other, plainly. There's still 3 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. I presume both of them have damage. I think, yeah, Kenny does have damage. And what about Pyro? Pyro does not have any damage yet, so still going strong is Pyro. But Pease is back in the podium then in McLaren after his struggles. The podium looked a certainty when he picked up that 3-second time penalty, but contact was made between those runners and he brought himself back in contention with such great pace as well. And Kenny is right behind Pyro, so those two continue their fight. Remember, these two had a bit of a squabble on in Monday's race as well. Sweet Crown's right behind Duval, but he knows Duval has got a 3-second time penalty, so he doesn't really have to go for it just yet. He'll probably wait for the last few laps. Sweet Crown has hunted down people in the past, overtaken on the last lap of the Grand Prix as well. Nathan JB picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. And Farrell in 13th place. Despite all of his efforts, the safety car will not come out now, unfortunately for him. Imagine that, a late safety car thrown in, and he ends up with the podium despite being in P13 before that safety car. Knowsley is still running this race in P14. I'm not sure what happened to him, you know, because him and Duval were fighting and he had the better of his own teammate, but it just went downhill for Knowsley after that second safety car. So a dismal race there for the RB driver as Kenny gets a 3-second penalty. That's another one added towards his tally, so no podium there for Kenny. It still could go towards, no, actually, yeah. Sweet Crown. All he's got to do is make sure he doesn't pick up a 3-second penalty. And I've said this before as well. Dennis Safu gets a penalty. Sweet Crown is very good at not picking up penalties. That's what's winning races in the past, even when he faces big challenges and doesn't seem likely to win. He's always very consistent in terms of the penalties. And Duval might be swamped to the straight because here comes Sweet Crown and here comes Total Pease now. DRS wide open and that's another one gone through. Could this be a battle for the lead of the Grand Prix? Pease versus Sweet Crown? We've seen this plenty of times, but Sweet Crown, I don't want to check the warnings for him. But Pease will be hoping that Sweet Crown will get a 3-second penalty like AJ's just done now. Kenny's got some good pace still in the Haas, despite a broken wing. Kenny does have a 3-second penalty, 2 of them, so that's 6 seconds there. Can Duval remain on the podium? It would be a massive shame if he falls on the podium for whatever reason. There is one more lap left to go in this Grand Prix, and you can see that Pease is putting massive pressure on Sweet Crown in front of us as we head down towards Akron Minerali we go. Sweet Crown is really struggling in the mini compound tyres, but so far done a fantastic job because he hasn't picked up any penalties so far. Despite what happened to him being taken out on the first lap, fell all the way to the back of the field, and somehow still finds himself towards the top of the field. And now we're going to head down towards Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. Lap 31, this race, despite its safety cars, has flown by, and here we are on the straight once again, with Sweet Crown in first place, Pease right behind, we'll have the DRS to attack him, going down the straight. Duval's got to make sure he finishes ahead of Kenny and Steve, and here comes Pease, puts himself back into P1, but here comes Kenny now, who puts himself into P3, but he does have a 3-second time penalty, 2 of them, so that's 6 seconds there. Duval's really struggling so far, and Steve is right behind him too. This is a battle for the podium, I think, because this is... No, it's not. 6-second penalty. So Duval is safe there. But Kenny, unfortunately, will not score a podium despite his great efforts, and Pease is bunching the right up at the exit of turn 7. A great drive for Pease, and it's a shame what happened to him when him and Yavoon and Nelly Safu made contact going down a turn 2. But a great comeback drive so far, and Kenny's right at the back of speed car as well. So Kenny showed some really good pace, but unfortunately made contact and also picked up those extra penalties as well. But so far it's a great recovery after what happened in Australia as we make our way towards Valiante out to chicane. And I think it will end like this then. So Pease, despite being spun out and hit by Yavoon Vizza, he still managed to come back strong to finish in P1 on the track. You can see Sweet Crown's tyres are really going off, but around the final corner, here he is. Total Pease will finish in first place. But Sweet Crown wins his 33rd race in CRL to finish in first place in Imola once again, takes victory around Imola as he's done before plenty of times at this track. Pease in P2. Another podium for him here in Imola. And Duwall, who is back at the podium for the first time since the Austin Grand Prix last season. And for the first time in a very long time in Division 1. What a fantastic drive there from Duwall to be back at the podium. Unfortunately picked up that 3-second penalty, but still managed to put on a great fight. Fantastic drive indeed from the top 3. There he is. Duwall is in the podium interviews, and it's been a very long time since. We've got more people joining now, so more pressure on me. Usually, when these guys deploy, we'll maybe take the piss out of each other, but I can't do on here. But
boom, Mr. Worldwide.
Thank you, Tony, for the input as always.
Hi, Jamie.
Anyways, Duwall, we'll start with you. Well, only you. Tony, don't crash next time, mate.
Wow.
One more fault.
And don't get penalties either. It was your fault. It's always your fault, Tony. But anyways, what happened at the start of the Grand Prix then? Yeah, exactly. Be quiet.
Me?
Oh, I thought you were talking to Kevin.
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh right. I got sideswiped.
Est-ce qu'il est déçu?
Anyways, sorry about that. We'll start with you then.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your first podium of the season. You might be a bit disappointed because the potential win was there, but Sweet Crown and Peas had amazing pace come to the field. What was the tension like for you in the car? Were you a bit nervous? Were you calm? Were you thinking about other things as well? Did you think that you could win the Grand Prix? Talk us through what happened.
I was calm. I think the others can tell. I was just enjoying the fight at the front, and yeah, for the moment I was thinking maybe the win was possible, but the 3 seconds I got a bit like it was a bit silly, but it's okay. I'm happy to be back on the podium. Jimmy, you've got a fake big memory. Can you remember when the last time I was in the podium in Charwan?
Round 5 last season, Division 2.
Yeah, I was in Div 2, yeah, even won a race in Div 2, but in Div 1.
Ah, mate, I have no idea, mate. It's a long time ago. I could
Yeah,
probably,
that's
if
why
I like,
I'm
if I
not
like,
disappointing at all by losing the victory. I'm on the podium. I can't complain. I'm happy.
I'm trying to look because I definitely like if you cancel things out when you've when you take you out of consideration in Division 1 into Division 2. I think you were last in Division 1 in Season 4, because that's when the likes of Jeroen, Walter, Pease came in. It was always a top 3 between Jeroen, Walter and Pease. It was like a top 3 like Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen.
My last win in tier 1 was in Season 4, yeah. I think I got a podium in Season 5, maybe. But a season in a row without a podium, and the streak is over.
Ah, yes, Duo. So your last win in Division 1 before this, no, not before this, but your last win, a podium, was at the Monaco Grand Prix in round 14 in Season 4.
Yeah, I won this race.
Did you?
But
you
I remember
did.
I've got a podium on Suzuka with, I think it was already Wouter and Pease on the podium.
Suzuka?
Yeah.
What season was that?
5 or 6?
5 or 6. That's a long time ago. So your last win was in Monaco, but your actual last podium was, well, I don't know, mate. It's like a long time ago. All I'm seeing is Relentless Walter, Total Peas, and you revisit the constant top 3 all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to fight with those guys. So, like I said, I can't complain. I'm happy just of my race. Let's go.
Yeah, you are right. It's Season 5, Round 6, the Japanese Grand Prix, your last podium.
That's the one.
So from Season 5 all the way to now, what's changed with you in league racing? Are you starting to get faster? Are you more comfortable in this game now?
I love this game, like someone said. The game is suiting me. It's fun. It's really fun to drive. So I'm just enjoying my time. I'm not trying hard. I'm not sweating on this game. I'm just enjoying the time on it.
Well, nice to hear from you as well, because I know you do ACC, and obviously you're the OG of CRL as well. You've been around since Season 1, and almost a 3-time champion, but Sonic just beat you in the end. And as the seasons went on, Season 3 and Season 4's champion. Yes. And picked up multiple wins along the way. You did get dropped down to Division 2, but still had good pace there. And you're still around today in Season 11, so yeah, it's really nice to still be around after 2019, a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm happy to be there, talking with you for the podium. I just enjoy my time.
Yeah, I'm enjoying speaking to you as well, because I ain't spoken to you in a podium interview for like a long time.
Exactly.
But anyways, do well forward on today, mate. Fantastic drive, and we'll see you in the next race. How are you feeling for the next race this season?
What is the track?
I'm glad you asked, because I don't know. I honestly don't know, mate. I don't know where to find it nowadays.
Singapore.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Well, how do you feel for the Singapore Grand Prix? Yep. Is that it?
Yeah, the Singapore GP.
Well, what's your expectations there?
Top 5?
Wow. We'll see how it goes for you then, Kevin. Welcome back to the podium, mate, for a long, long time. Next step is a race win. Your last race win, I just said it, was... Oh, God. I forgot now. Yeah, it's gone in my head. Monaco Grand Prix, Season 5, Round 14. And your last podium before this in Division 1 was Season 6 at the Japanese Grand Prix. So, yeah, it does make sense now. But welcome back to the podium, mate. And we hope to see you more on the podium too. And hopefully the race win is the next step, Kevin.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thank you very much, mate. And I'll take you. I'll see you later. And whilst he's here, I might as well do him. Tony, mate, welcome to the...
Wow.
Well, Tony, even though this is a podiums chat, you don't belong here, but how do you...
Go away.
how was the race for you today? Because I know there's a lot of contacts with going down into turn 2. You got sideswiped, and a lot of people got involved too. And also, towards the end of the stint, you made contact with Kenny and Sweetcard, so talk us through what happened there.
The end of the race.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny, yeah, I hit the grass and I half spun, and obviously they hit into me, but I don't think anything bad came out of it. Other than that, my hards dropped off really quickly towards the end. I wasn't able to keep up and stay with the front.
So I'm not laughing at you. If you go on my stream, there was I'm in the lobby and there was this random guy doing a random pose. But yeah, yeah. Anyways, Tony, I don't know what to say because you're not on the top 3, but come much stronger for the next race. Are you starting to get more and more?
Race?
Yeah, that don't care. That don't matter, though, does it? All about it matters all about the end result.
Yeah. No, the thing I enjoyed was battling with Kevin. It was good
Sorry?
battles.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was the most enjoyable part of the race. Well,
It was fun.
I think I'll be happy with Singapore, Jamie. So, I'm gonna be here.
Hopefully, mate. And all you need to do is try and work on your consistency, mate. Because I can see the pace is there. It's just the decision making sometimes is not always there. If you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. I don't think I made any bad decisions today.
Don't worry, you'll find out later. But anyways, we'll see you. We'll see you all at the Singapore Grand Prix for round 3. Jochen van Kessel, back on yogurt, will be back with me next in Singapore. He was just running a bit late, and he also had a massive update on his F1 game since he hadn't played it for a long time either. So, Jochen van Kessel, yogurt will be back, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you remember him from like season 2, 3, 4, and 5. The OG commentator alongside me, Indigo and Yogurt, the old partnership is back, and we'll see you all later. Have a good night. Have a good weekend too.